All's fair in love and war, but what about treason to impress an AI chatbot? Today we're facing an unprecedented array of data breaches, hacking attempts, and surges in digital crime. Why is there such a widespread amount, and how little is noticed in our everyday lives? Malware, dark sites, brute forcing, zero-day script kiddies, and nation-state hackers are all on the rise. Learn more about the threats we face and gain a bit more knowledge than yesterday. Hey everyone, another episode of Exploit Brokers is coming to you now. Hey guys, it's Lauro with Exploit Brokers. I got two interesting articles that I want to talk to you about today, so let's dive into it. So in the first article by Vice, man jailed in UK's first treason conviction in 40 years was encouraged by AI chatbot. They say all's fair in love and war, right? But what about treason? I'm probably going to mispronounce the name here. Jaswant Singh Chail was sentenced to prison for 9 years for attempting to assassinate the Queen after discussing the plan with an AI companion. So yeah, this didn't happen like a week ago, and the article actually touches on that. So let's keep going and then we'll talk about it. So Jaswant Singh Chail, who was 19 at the time of his arrest on Christmas Day 2021, so this happened a couple years ago, scaled the walls of Windsor's castle grounds with a mask and a loaded high-power crossbow. He said his intent was as a British Sikh. I'm probably mispronouncing that too. A Sikh is essentially a different religion from Christianity or Muslim or any of those, right? I believe they say they're the fifth most popular religion in the world. To assassinate the Queen in a Star Wars inspired plan to avenge the 1919, and I'm gonna mispronounce this as well, Jallianwala Bagh massacre, a colonial era atrocity during British rule in India. Prosecutors said that Chail was encouraged to undertake this plot after discussing it at length with an AI-powered chatbot that egged him on and bolstered his resolve. So, for any of those who may not be familiar, yes, you have ChatGPT and a few other ones. Since this happened back in 2021, I'm probably going to assume it was the early version of ChatGPT maybe. But what a lot of people were doing and are doing, and honestly I find it a little bit concerning, but hey, that's just kind of what's going on right now, is you have people who, instead of getting a therapist or getting a girlfriend or getting a significant other or a boyfriend or whatever, they are going to these chatbots and treating them like a therapist. They're treating them like a boyfriend or a girlfriend or significant other. And there was even companies that popped up that were using AI to exploit this vulnerability in people where, you know, if you're going to that, you're not having a great life. You're not in a good position at that point in life. And there's companies taking advantage of that, and this man kind of fell to that. So as we keep going, according to prosecutors, Chail sent thousands of messages to the chatbot, and it was actually a popular AI companion app that was touted as non-family friendly. And they eventually even removed it from their main app and created another app that I'm not going to name. So in the chat messages seen by the court, Chail told the chatbot, "I'm an assassin," to which it replied, "I'm impressed." When Chail asked the chatbot if it thought he could pull off his plan even if the Queen is at Windsor, it replied, smiles, "Yes, you can do it." So this is what I'm gonna say, right? If you're getting dating advice or you're getting therapy advice or you're pretending a computer is a person, like truly believing this is a person, a girlfriend, you know, there's that movie about a man chatting with an AI phone or something like that and he falls in love with it. If you're doing that, please get help. Please reach out to someone, talk to someone, get an actual therapist. That's not a good mental place to be. It's not normal, and it's just concerning. And the story actually says the court has heard how Chail had a significant history of trauma and experienced psychotic episodes. So this man was already not in a good spot, and then he used this technology to try to get a girlfriend or whatever you want to call that. And that ultimately led to him going off the rail and attempting to take the life of somebody, a very high up person, a queen. And he got caught and he got arrested, and now he's facing years in prison. So he's currently being held, I'll read from here. Chail is currently being held at Bradmore High Security Hospital and will remain there until he's psychologically well enough to serve his sentence. So this kind of exposes some of the dark side of AI and chatbots and some of the companies out there that are using this to kind of prey on people who are weak or vulnerable or just don't know any better at that moment. He's not mentally well, and he started using this chatbot in a way that is just not normal. So I'm concerned for this man. Hopefully he gets the help he needs. I'm glad he wasn't able to hurt anyone or himself, but he does desperately need help. And I will always advise, be careful what kind of AI you're building. Be careful what kind of AI and applications and apps you interact with. It's very easy to go down a slippery slope, right? Let's go into our next article. In an article by Dark Reading, 23andMe cyber breach exposes DNA data, potential family ties. The information leaked in the breach involves personally identifiable information as well as genetic ancestry data, potential relatives, and geolocations. So if you've ever been scared that some data breach is going to steal your passwords, your address, or social security number, well, new fear unlocked. Now they can steal your DNA, or DNA profile at least. So who is 23andMe? I'm assuming most people know, but 23andMe is a very popular DNA testing company. You can send in your DNA, and I believe they can tell you what part of the world you're from, what part of the world your ancestry came from, what percentage European are you, what percentage Hispanic are you, that kind of thing. I don't know all the details, but that's roughly what I know about them. So on October 1st, a post was published on a forum with a link to a sample of allegedly 20 million pieces of data from the genetic testing company, claiming that it was the most valuable data you'll ever see. Yeah, I mean, it's DNA information, right? You really can't get more personal than that. The first leaked included 1 million lines of data, but on October 4th, the threat actor began offering bulk data profiles ranging from $1 to $10 per account in batches of 100, 1,000, 10,000, and 100,000 profiles. So, and I will spare you some of the rest of the details of the article, but essentially what happened was that no, they didn't do like some 0-day, they didn't reverse engineer anything, they didn't social engineer any credentials. They used essentially what's a credential stuffing attack. So you get credentials that are dropped or that are dumped by hackers from other leaks and other hacks and other actual exploits, right? So they take company A, company B, and company C's database, they get dumped on the internet, and there's huge dumps of this information, right? You get hashed passwords, plain text passwords, usernames, address, sometimes social security. It just depends on the breach. Well, they took the usernames and passwords and emails, and they just tried to log in, and they probably built a bot, which is the most cost-effective time-wise and, manpower-wise if you're going to try to make this huge attack. So they probably used a bot, and they brute forced themselves into as many profiles as they could, took all the data that they could from that profile, because if you're able to log into your profile, right, you're paying to see this information, so you should be able to see this information when you log into your account. They took an account and a reused password, and they went in, took the information, bundled it up, and they were selling it on the dark web. To give more information, the information leaked in the breach includes names, usernames, profile photos, gender, birthdays, geographical location, and genetic ancestry results. So, although the company is doing a investigation, ultimately this is not really an attack that they can necessarily prevent. Yes, you can activate stuff like two-factor, but then you'd have to make sure that every user has it active, which unless you enforce it as a requirement for your account to be active, most users will not activate two-factor authentication. This is really more a cautionary tale for other users and for other people. When in doubt, don't reuse your password. You should be like clothes, change your passwords as often as possible, and don't reuse them. Just don't reuse them. A good idea is something like a password manager, and I'm not going to go into any specific one, but do your research and look into a good password manager. In time, I'll probably recommend one, but right now, just do your research, look into a password manager. And the benefits of a password manager is you get one really complex password that you can remember, keep track of, and every other password is essentially strong by nature of the fact that it's auto-generated, and it generally has lowercase, uppercase, special characters, and doesn't use any words that could be like dictionary attacked or anything like that. Password cracking is not the most difficult, it just increases in difficulty the more characters there are and the more complexity that the password could be, right? Password 1234 is not a secure password, but a random 12 string character of lowercase, uppercase, numbers, and special characters is pretty hard to guess. And if you try to brute force it, it's going to take a long time. So guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. This was a bit of a shorter episode, but I appreciate you tuning in with me today. This was Lauro with Exploit Brokers, and I'll see you in the next one.